stream, but that just seems to be how live streams work sometimes. So I just got my China marker and some white marks on, I don't know how I did that, on my paper here. And I kind of want my tiger not to be just like taking up the whole paper. I kind of just want to have my tiger almost really small. Let's see. I had this idea. We got like a jungle. There's going to be a moon. Hello, Cadillus. What are we doing here? And also, the two different reference pictures I was working from. I got a little rear view picture, the tiger, focus on the back and the rumpus region of the tiger. I'm going to move where that is. So the tail in this photo would be kind of trailing off of the canvas here. I'm going to have our tail coming through here. And I'm going to do something really similar to what I did odorous sketch. Fairly similar anyway. I'm just starting out with some China markers. Maybe I want to have the paw coming forward a little bit more. Let's we have a little bit of a nice breeze. It was feeling a little too warm. That's kind of the body. And so let's see. How are we going to do that head? Head's coming up. We have an ear. I've mentioned this in some previous vlogs, and I think I talked about this in my my first video where I did a on-camera drawing. I mentioned that whatever reason. Let's see if I can scoot forward here a little bit. And I am trying not to block the canvas here, because I know at the very least of the video this is visible. I don't know how visible I am. I'm trying not to block everything. I was kind of blocking the camera a little bit in the other video, but back onto my previous topic. This is something that I had a hard time with in my college art classes, because normally we were working in this upright on a canvas, on an easel sort of setup. I would be using this exact board right here and doing a lot of our drawing work upright. And that is difficult for me for two reasons. One, the upright thing, and then working really big, which I am not very good at. I'm not a large painter or a large drawer at all. That is a terrible tiger face. My goodness. Well, we can figure something out better here. Also, this is just our sketch, so no need to worry. I've done a lot of painting sketches where it's like what I drew and what the painting ended up looking like were just two entirely different things. And I've always been very happy with my end result compared to my sketches. Sometimes my sketches will have a little more life to them, just end up being more dynamic. I'm kind of losing a little bit of the tiger here. Let's see. Let's have a little bit of orange. I'm not quite going to jump into color just yet, because that's something I'm going to do that's different from the odorous painting video. You know what I should do? Let's see. I might even just sketch the tiger face in the corner over here. Let's try to break down the shapes of this here tiger face. This photo, his head is kind of just like merging in with his neck. Let's see. We're seeing him from the back. whole ear there. There we go. I think part of the reason that I have a hard time sometimes drawing upright is I did discover that I need to hold my pencil a little bit different. Actually, I am holding my pencil different right now than what I normally do, and I'm just drawing on my desk. I hold my pencil like that, and I guess that's a kind of a weird pencil grip. But then I almost always hold a paintbrush more like that, and I think it's because this is my upright drawing hand position as opposed to my flat drawing position. I just think that's very weird that I have more than goodness. This is like the cursed. This is the cursed live drawing session. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? We can fix this. Like I said, it's a plan. It does not have to be fancy. It does not have to. I should have done some just general tiger face sketches beforehand too. I was focusing more on like the. Okay, that looks like a bear. We're getting closer in the animals we want. Let's see. Give him a more noticeable chin. I'm like kind of right in the direct sun. It's very toasty. I actually grabbed my here because it is Friday. It's Frazetta Friday, so I was gonna wear my Jeff Dealer jacket. So let me show that off for a little bit longer. But it's too warm right now, which I'm glad it's warm because I do have a tiny bit of watercolor that I want to add into this plan here. Let's see. I think a good 80% of my painting process is probably just me sitting there with my face in my hands, wondering where everything went completely wrong. So that's one problem with the doing anything live. That's one of the reasons I'm planning to do the odorous painting live and not maybe like a portrait of Christopher Lee, because that one I will definitely have my head in my hands. All perfectionism, because odorous, you can do whatever you want with odorous. I said so in the video. You just draw whatever incarnation of odorous you want. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, that is looking a little bit better. Just like the general idea of what I want to do with that tiger's head. This is just such a beautiful shot of the roaring tiger. He's got this explosion of whiskers. I want to capture that tigeriness. It's got that look about them. One of the reasons I'm going with a tiger is because I feel like tigers have been showing up a lot in my life in various ways, very subtle ways. So I feel like tigers are an animal that I should be focusing on right now. Focus my tiger energy. Okay, let's get some, just to make this guy look a little more tigery. I'm gonna get some color in here. I don't know. He's got an interesting angle to his head. Hard to describe exactly. But let's jump back to this main work. In fact, maybe I even want to get my watercolors out. I have them stored in the little holes of these cinder blocks over here. Very useful. I want to set this whole part of the garden up to be a little outside art area. I think that would be very nice. I've got a little bit of shade. The grapevines over here. I got out this brush And then I realized that, like, that's what I'm painting with, and there seems to be a size discrepancy here. I might just make it work. Let's plop that into our water bucket. Actually, I'm going to keep that on the ground because I don't know how much is getting blocked here. All right. Let's see, what do I want? In just like a very wet, rainforesty looking jungle. Not necessarily rainforesty. I don't think that's a common tiger habitat, but just a very green, dark green jungle. And I wanted maybe like a moon, just a really cool, badass scene. But now that I'm kind of looking at the position of my tiger, I almost want to have him. Let me think. I want him like roaring at the moon, basically. We got our tiger. It's like that 3-wolf moon trope, but tigers. But that's cliche looking. I think he's like on something. Hi, Catillas. Are you sharpening your nails? Catilla said I should paint him. Oh, he's gonna take a nap. He's gonna hide behind the rosemary bush. Let's see. So I was thinking some kind of composition where, see, we got a lot of trees and rainforesty little stuff happening. Well, here, let's do some painting and show this all through color. Got my painting rag with my designated rag for all my acrylic and watercolor. It has just gotten so very disgusting over the years, as all good art supplies should. You don't even want to see what my painting bucket looks like. That is nasty. All right, we're gonna try to get this gigantic brush in this small little palette. And this is also gonna get nice and drippy too. That'll be cool. The ocean's super loud right now. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but very nice background sounds. And more drips. You know what? I'm just gonna like all that green. And I sure hope you guys can actually see what's happening, because like I said, I have confirmed I have no idea what's happening on the other side of my phone. We could be, you guys could be looking at that sage plant for however long it's been. I don't know. You guys could be getting a live stream of Catillas. I don't think he'd mind. I think he likes being internet famous. Alright, maybe we should get some darker green. I just got like my basic crappy set out because I'm really just getting a vague idea of what I want to do. And then once I've got it pretty well figured out with the painting, I'm going to go in with some of my pastels, which are those like melting in the heat? Oh, maybe I need to close that. Okay, we're going to close that. I'm going to get my sweatshirt over that. We're not going to have any melting paintings, any melting pastels, any melting whatever it is that I'm struggling to do live. I think use a different browser on my phone just to get the stream to even work. So that's really fun. I already had Chrome, so that's okay. It wasn't letting me use the default browser. And then I had a difficult time just trying to put in a stream title. It's like my phone was having such a hard time just acknowledging the existence of my keyboard. I don't know. Let's get nice and drippy. I'm kind of thinking I want the foreground to be darker. Background. Still something very green. I'm going to put a little bit of yellow because that will be a nice slap down. Probably one of the things that I'll do. I'm getting paint on myself. My goodness. One of the things I'll probably do when I do the final painting is I'll just probably paint the whole thing yellow to start out and then start to block things in. Usually when I'm doing my underpainting, when I'm like blocking forms in, I do something in brown. There is a video watching this video where my favorite artist, Simon Bisley, is demonstrating his painting technique. The weird thing about that video is it didn't have any sounds at all, and that was kind of tripping me out. So I'll watch the whole thing at some point, but maybe have some background music going, because I don't know, I just thought that was kind of odd. It looked like he started painting just with solid black. It was like he was doing a sketch in black, and I always was kind of wondering if he, before seeing that, I was wondering, did he just use solid black either like towards the end of his process, or was he starting out that way? Because one of the things I was taught to do is not to do that. Like, you never paint with solid black, but sometimes rules are meant to be broken. So I will have to experiment. I will have to see exactly how that's going to work out. My paper's getting a little warped here, but I think that's okay. One of the reasons I picked a nice warm day to paint was so things dry pretty fast. Let's see. Let's use a smaller brush that isn't just completely clean. Let's get that wet. I did remember to put on sunscreen before this video. You gotta protect yourself. Maybe I want to have just some like. I could use solid black. I could do that. Actually, I think I want to use some brown instead. My colors will probably end up, well, hopefully my colors will end up much better in the finished pieces, in the finished piece. I feel like I tend to go a little more garish in my plans just because I'm trying to get the idea of what I want to do. There's a particular Roger Dean painting that I'm also thinking of. He's got this tropical rainforest, kind of a fantasy tropical rainforest that just, the way he painted it, I don't quite remember what he works with, what kind of paint. It's like, I think in some works it's like enamel paint. I'm not really sure how that compares to anything I work with, but he creates like these really cool drippy effects in a lot of his paintings. And there's one particular painting where he's got like this rainforest and just like the moisture. He's got this sense of moisture in the plants just with how heavy and how much dripping there is. And that's kind of what I'm envisioning here. So normally I would have just like gone to find that particular image and probably had it out with me, but I'm running out of space to put things. I mean, I'm sitting on the little stool that I was in the odorous video. I do have my easel. I've got a pile of cinder blocks for my tablet. I have this nice little table that my dad made, though. That's what everything is sitting on. I could even like have that image out, but I don't know. That was a lot to carry outside. Um, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do for the live odorous painting in terms of setup. I think the best way to film it would be with my phone, and then I can check on chat or whatever with my tablet. I might even be able to see. I might actually be able to use technology right now. I've had it sitting right here next to me this whole time. I can use technology to see all 0 people. Oh look, stream painting plans. One watching, that might be me. That might be me right now. Oh my god, my preview image, it's just the patio. It's just the patio. Oh my goodness. Oh, there I am. Also, YouTube's doing that weird thing where sometimes it'll play an ad while the regular video's playing, and so you have just like layers of videos. Okay, yeah, this is actually working. You can totally see this. Well, let me move my camera. Okay. I have to wait a few seconds. All right. All right. Thank you, past me. There we go. I'm actually going to turn that off. There we go. It's working out a lot better. Problem is, you guys are seeing this from a portrait view, so it's not like the most beautiful setup that could be happening, but you know what? It's working, and I'm glad it's working. So now I just have to try to make this painting look good. Oh my goodness. Like I said, I'm not good at painting upright. That was just something I had a really hard time with in my college level art classes. But I've said this before in my vlogs. I think it's good that I had to do that because, one, now I know for facts that I don't like to work that way. I have enough experience to say, you know what, this sucks and I don't like it. But I was put in a position where I needed to work in a way that wasn't necessarily the easiest way for me to work. And I think it's good sometimes just to have your comfort levels challenged. Sometimes it doesn't work out super well, like right here, just trying to do a live painting, fighting with technology. But I don't know. I think it's good. It's good to try to do that. You're not gonna learn if you never just mess around, have things not work. But I always did feel like a lot of my works that I was producing in my art classes weren't necessarily that great. It definitely was not the best work that I could do. My classwork was not even close to any of my best work. So I thought it was really interesting in my portfolio class, which I'm not going to go into too much detail about the portfolio class because then that's going to turn into a 40-minute rant. I didn't like the class at all. So we're just going to leave it at that. But my portfolio class, at the very beginning of the semester, in which we were bringing in the art we had made, and then our complete asshole teacher arbitrarily decides what he wants to do, regardless of if it's helpful for us or not. That's an entire rant in itself. The point is, we brought in a collection of our artwork to show what we had done so far. And as I recall, so the collection of art I brought in, it was nothing but things I had done on my own. I didn't have any work from any classes just because that wasn't what I was proud of. I'd made some cool stuff, but it wasn't as good as stuff I'd done on my own. And if I remember correctly, I want to say it was maybe 2015 or so. It definitely would have been before 2016, because I remember 2016 was like a really, really, really good art year for me. I had a lot of stuff I had done. That was the year I got my first commission, which I remember was Vermin Supreme's book, actually, iPony. I did 2 chapter illustrations in that book. And then not that long after, Metal Hachi hired me to do a poster. So 2016 was just like an amazing year. I want to say that the portfolio class was either 2015 or maybe 2014. But I still had a good amount of art, and I think it all was things I had made mostly that summer, because it was a fall semester class, and I think most of my art was the summer before that class, or just like that previous year. It was pretty much all that year. And there were a few other people in the class that had portfolio assemblies that were mostly like work that they did on their own, maybe a little bit of stuff in class, but it was actually a really small assortment of people that had like personal work focused portfolios, with an air quote, because it wasn't really a portfolio as much as a bunch of stuff we had. And there were a lot of people where it was just stuff they had done in class. It was like, and you could tell like everybody took, oh my god, I don't even remember the teacher's name. The guy who taught beginning drawing, that I liked him. He was kind of a curmudgeonly old dude, but in a likable way. I cannot remember his name now. He was the teacher that suggested that I look at what was it? It was like Ottoman paintings, so I could learn how to draw good decapitations. That's a good art teacher right there. He's like looking at my art and he's like, you know what you'd be interested in? You know what you should work on? Good decapitations. Like that's good art teaching. He was also the teacher that told me I didn't need to worry about my portfolio having a consistent theme, because he insisted I was far too young to have any consistent theme in my art. He was very much of like, oh no, you're still in the learning how to do shit stage. You're not gonna have a theme yet. And that I appreciated, because I think even into my later years, where I know what I'm doing a lot more than I do now, I probably still am not going to be very consistent. And a lot of art teachers have said that they think that's a good thing about me, that I do a lot of different things with a lot of different media. I had a oil painting instructor at our town's art association tell me that I took a couple of oil painting classes, and I was saying that, I wanted to get better at painting, but I'd kind of been focusing on other things. I'd been doing all that way, and he said that's a good thing to do, especially when you're young. You want to have a lot of experience with a lot of different media, and that was the opposite of what my portfolio teacher wanted us to. Teacher that said my portfolio needed to like be super, super consistent, and I needed a theme, and I needed like 20 works of art all in one series that all really looked like each other. And well, I think consistency, definitely there's an argument for that, but this was just do the same shit and never change. And he's also the teacher that didn't quite understand that I'm going for a different look with digital art than I do with traditional art. One thing I do want to do, I want to practice doing digital art that's in a more painterly style that looks like traditional art, just done digitally. But usually when I'm going digital, I'm trying to be very flat. I have a particular look I'm going for. But anyway, I'm going pretty far off the topic of what I was trying to say. What I was trying to say is I was just surprised how many people had just practice drawings they did in class. Actually, I remember how I got on that tangent. I was trying to remember the beginning drawing teacher's name, and just everybody does that assignment where it's like a striped piece of cloth that's in some kind of arrangement. You draw that, or you've got a ribbon drawing. You've got your still life, got your cow skulls, which I liked doing that. I like drawing skulls. I have a good collection of animal bones. Those are really fantastic for just practicing forms. No, I was talking all about that moon, and we don't even have a moon in this picture. Let us rectify that issue. I'm just gonna have like an impression of a moon. Let's see. I can very easily just be pulling up reference pictures on my tablet, considering how I have it right here on my convenient cinder block stand. But I don't want to just be messing around on my devices on this Arc-centric stream. That's pretty boring to watch. I'm probably let's get some very light blue. And one of the very few things that my portfolio teacher said that wasn't either just absolutely utterly moronic or just completely obvious, because that was really the two kinds of statements he'd make, is that if you are submitting a portfolio to an art college, for example, you do really want to have your own work in there, because they're going to look at a lot of portfolios that have a lot of the striped cloth in repose pictures. They're going to look at a lot of ribbon drawings. They're going to see a lot of the same stuff. So having your own makes your portfolio stand out. And it's having like original art. I think sometimes on the internet it's a little bit different when it comes to making yourself known. Sometimes fan art is like the necessary evil that you must jump into if you want to get any kind of traction. Like you get attention from your fan art, but then also have your original content. So people are like, this person, they're cool. They do their own stuff. Usually I just do fan art if it's like a thing I'm really into at the moment. Sometimes I've done fan art of things where it's like, if I do this, will this get me followers? And it never really works. And if you're doing something just specifically for attention, it's not really going to be as fun as if you're just like, I'm going to draw a bunch of fan art for this terrible movie. I'm going to draw this Heavy Metal 2000 art. I haven't even seen Heavy Metal 2000 in a very long time. I remember it being kind of terrible, but I just love the comic adaptation of it, so I'm doing a ton of art of that right now. And Simon Bisley drew the comic, so it's amazing. And he just the concept art for that movie. So it's all beautiful and amazing and artistically inspiring. So that's actually what I've been doing a lot of. My vlog coming up at the end of the month. Because I feel like this has been a super productive month. I got a lot done. I am going to get more things done. A lot of unplanned projects.